came from Houston, my relationship just fucking ended. Betty in H-Town don't want me to leave, my flight just got extended. I don't got no competition.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Them Football Guys. It's your host, Aloha Baba Yaga. Y'all already know what it is. I got another special episode for y'all today. It's Thursday Night Football start sits. We want to get this content to you out as quick as possible, hence why it's only me at the moment. We're going to jump right into it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know who y'all starting, who y'all sitting, and what y'all expect out of this game. We got a betting podcast coming for y'all tonight. We got the live coming for y'all tonight. So join us on the live around 7:45 EST. Join us on the live while we go over last minute start sits, any possible weather conditions, outs, and any possible bets you may want to take. So let's get right into this. For my first start sit, I actually want to start with I want to go in order and start with the quarterbacks first. Aaron Rodgers has been slumming it up these last couple of weeks. I don't expect this week to be any better. I want to say it's one of those weird situations where I think I've heard that the Patriots have had the Jets numbers for like the last couple of years. I get it's new quarterback, but franchise history tends to stick. I don't expect this game to be much better for A-Rod than it was before. And usually I would say he was a must start, but you didn't draft A-Rod in the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You probably didn't draft him in the first 8 rounds. You probably didn't even have to draft him in the 9th, 10th, 11th. So I'm going to have A-Rod as a sit this morning. My cohorts aren't here to disagree with me this morning. So, yeah, A-Rod is a sit for me. Jacoby Brissett, the Jets defense is something I don't want to play with. Jacoby Brissett's a sit. Nothing to talk about there. I don't really like what the Patriots got going on. They only have one positive thing on offense right now, maybe 1.5 positive things on offense right now, but we're going to get to that. So moving on to the wide receivers, we have Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is a start for me. He's your first round pick. You have to start him, waiting for him to finally get that uptake. I think regardless of how the Patriots play or how the Jets play and the results of the game, Garrett Wilson is going to get, if not the same, then at least better than what he got the previous weeks. Well, if not better, then at least the same as what he got the previous weeks, which is about 10, 11 points total. Nothing great, but nothing worth sitting for unless you have a much better receiving option you can start on Sunday. That might be the appropriate thing. If you have like I wouldn't sit him for a gamble. Basically, I wouldn't sit him for Xavier Worthy. I wouldn't sit him for Lad McConkey. I wouldn't sit him for anyone who's had a good week, but isn't a proven receiver, if that makes sense. Like, would I sit him for Devontae Adams? I consider it, but it's not something that I want to lock in and say like for sure. Like, but I would, for this context of this game, Garrett Wilson's a start, no worse, maybe better than what he's been doing these last couple of weeks. My next, sticking with the wide receivers and sticking with the Jets, Allen Lazard and Mike Will. I think last week we kind of saw a little shift. We had the thing with first week when Allen Lazard seemed to be the de facto number 2. Last week we had a slight shift in usage. We had a Mike Will sighting. And I think that the Jets' plan is to have Mike Will as the number 2, Mike Will as the deep threat. So if I had to choose between these two, I would probably prefer to sit both in this matchup. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably go Mike Will, simply because Mike Will was brought into this offense for a purpose. And I do feel like Mike Will can, live up to that purpose, which, if you've ever owned Mike Will, he's a boomer bust. He's a 20 or nothing type of guy. He's a guy you put into your flex spot and just, send up a prayer and hope that he comes back with at least a tub and 60 yards. So I prefer Mike Will, Allen Lazard. But if I had to choose between this week, I'd probably sit them both and then get a more favorable matchup next week and kind of see a final opportunity to see what's the actual split. Mike Will is no longer nursing an injury. He's not on a snap count. We'd want to see more from him. We want to see if he takes most of Allen Lazard's work, if not all of it. So I got them both as a sit this week. But if I had to start one, it'd be Mike Will. Moving on to the Patriots receivers, we have Jalen Polk as I don't even want to call him the number 1. but he did score a touchdown last week. Jalen Polk didn't actually produce anything that made me feel like I had to start any of the Patriots receivers. Let me just start by saying that all the Patriots receivers for me is a sit. I would actually cut KJ Osborne, and if I have limited roster space, I'd probably cut Demario Douglas also. But Jalen Polk right now, he's a sit for me because we don't have right now we don't have anything to work with. The offense, even with all the way the offense looked last week, it still looks sluggish. It still looks scattered. There's only one thing from this offense. This is the 0.5 I was talking about. There's only one thing from this offense we actually want to start, and it's no one in the receiving core for me, especially not against the Jets defense. KJ Osborne and Demario Douglas, I already said it. I'm not feeling either of them this week. I don't see a reason to gamble with your lineup. There's probably better people on your bench already. And if for some reason there isn't, you didn't watch our waiver wire video for sure. So let's go ahead and lock in on that, get these people out the way, put them on your bench, put them on waiver wire, free these two, kind of focus on Jalen Polk if you got him, see what that's looking like. But moving on to the running backs. The running backs in the start sit. Well, before we start the running back, make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're at the halfway point. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know what y'all think about our start sits. This game is probably easy to call. You probably didn't have to. Hopefully, you didn't draft too many people from this offense that are necessary to your team. None of these people should have been going in like the first 10 rounds of the draft. So hopefully, this game isn't too much of a deal breaker for you. It's not too much of a deal breaker for your team in week 3. I can understand with more injuries down the line, you might want to hold some of them, but hopefully that's not the case for your offense, for your fantasy team. So like and subscribe, leave a comment, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, hit that notification bell, follow us on TikTok, make us one of your sources. We on Apple Music and Spotify, get us up them Spotify charts. I appreciate y'all. Let's get back to these running backs. The first running back on the board that I want to talk about is Breece Hall. Breece Hall, no need to think about it. He's probably your second pick. He's probably your first pick if you're up there. Maybe your second pick in some leagues if you're a quarterback heavy league. Breece Hall, automatic start. No need to dock any points for the Braylon Allen sighting last week. Braylon Allen only has 2 touches last week, and though they were 2 profitable touches, they were still 2 touches nonetheless. And Breece Hall is a start. He's a lock. Nothing to think about there. Put that boy in your lineup. Start him every week until he gets injured. Braylon Allen, on the other hand, is a sit. There wasn't enough work. I love the production, but there wasn't enough work to really put him up there. I would think that with the Patriots offense, if this was going to be a blowout, I would like Braylon Allen, but I think this game's a lot slower than we're expecting a slower game. So we're expecting it to go slow, a nice little under situation, a closer game than most people are probably expecting because I don't know who's expecting a wider margin. I have to check the slate for that, but I like this game as a non-shootout, slow game. No need to put Braylon Allen in your starting lineup unless you're that desperate. And even then, I still think he's a sit this week. Still not enough work. Because of Gator, I'm going to change this narrative later. But the only person that I believe personally to be a start this week from the Patriots offense is Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson is literally the only producing player on the team. His backup Antonio Gibson is there, but Antonio Gibson's had a quiet 2 weeks for real. Nothing too noticeable to make you feel like, okay, the work is gone, the work is leaving. Short of Ramondre being injured today, there's no reason for you to not start him. The Jets tend to give up a lot of yardage on the run. A lot more yards than you might expect. A lot of work going to Ramondre Stevenson in the passing game. I like Ramondre Stevenson. You start him in your lineup, you leave him there. This is the asterisk I put there for tight ends. Gator, I'd be remiss to not mention that Hunter Henry, the Jets are allegedly weak to tight ends. So Hunter Henry might be a factor in this game. They used him a lot last week. He had the bulk of the receptions and targets last week for the Patriots. Hunter Henry may see, like, look to capitalize on that same usage this week and become maybe like a top 7 tight end this week. If the work remains, if he can actually, get into the end zone, get some yardage, and then even with that volume alone, if he can catch 60-70% of those passes, he's looking at least 10 points even without the touchdown. So Hunter Henry's a start this week. He's a start this week. That's it. Moving on to the last player on our list, Tyler Conklin. He is a sit this week. There's no reason to start Tyler Conklin. A-Rod has not been using him. He's had not enough volume, not enough work, not enough production, consistent production for us to say, like, okay, well, put him in the lineup. I don't really have much to say about him overall, just that he's the sit and you should be okay sitting him. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this for us. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, hit that notification bell. Again, I keep telling y'all, we got a lot of content coming for y'all this season. We appreciate y'all getting our views up. You watching us, you see like y'all fucking with us. Leave some comments. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know if you liked our takes. Let us know if we won you some money. Let us know if you won your league last week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter at Dem Football Guys, Dem Football Guys _ on Instagram to be specific, and make us one of your sources. We on Apple Music, we on Spotify. Get us up them boards, like our stuff over there, share it with a friend, don't share it with your enemies if you don't want to, get them the tips, but share us make us one of your sources. Let us know what you want to see. Dem Football Guys. For now, we are out of here.